From Lenape Regional High School in Medford, New Jersey, we've got ourselves the second round of South Jersey Group 4 playoffs. This evening, it's a 7:30 p.m. tip-off, the latest we've had in a long time on DWB, as the Vineland Fighting Clan face off against the Lenape Indians. I'm Dan Wilkins, joined by Colin Morris of Highland High School. Colin, this is a game that will matter a lot for both sides. Lenape trying to prove their worth here in South Jersey Group 4, the number 2 seed in this bracket. Meanwhile, Vineland, they are 21-5 atop the Cape Atlantic League United Division, who just came off of their first playoff win since 1993 in the men's bracket.
And just over a week ago, we had the honor of being at Holy Cross, and we said how it kind of feels like a primetime game, right? It's the place to be in South Jersey, and I'm getting that feeling again, Dan. Lenape and Vineland going to be an excellent matchup. Vineland winning their first playoff game. Lenape moving on against Pennsauken in a statement win back the other day. So it's going to be exciting for both these teams to see who's going to move on to have a date with Eastern on Tuesday.
This has been a packed gym all day, and I mean that literally. Lenape hosted the district wrestling tournament today, hence why this is such a late tip-off. But Colin, player to watch for Lenape, I would have to say, would be Jaden Boyd. He is such a great guard who's really able to pick up a shot from anywhere on the floor, and I think that he's going to dominate in today's performance. Meanwhile, for Vineland, they've got Ricardo Johnson. There's not a lot of teams who have a 6'8" center, and Ricardo Johnson is one of them. So it's going to be fun. We're going to see, I assume they'll do the anthem, but we've got Lenape. They are fired up. The Indians in black and red, the Fighting Clan in white and red. And we will take a quick break here from the Lenape South Gym right after this. Competition in the house tonight. Lenape student section's got their ESPN table, but we're ready to go. 7v2 in the South Jersey Group 4 quarterfinal, as Vineland's going to get ready to face off against the Lenape Indians. Tip-off is ready. Sorry about that difficulty with the camera there. I'm Dan Wilkins, along with Colin Morris on the call. There's that ESPN table we were talking about. But tonight, Dan Wilkins Broadcasting brings you Saturday night coverage. The marquee game in South Jersey from one of the biggest gyms in South Jersey. We are underway, as how about that for a start? Xavier Chapman getting the tip away from the 6'8" Ricardo Johnson. Moving out to the left side, Brett Halfpenny over to Jaden Boyd, and we're going to have a foul on the baseline as we get started here. 7:47 left in the first.
And just like we mentioned quickly in the opener, Dan, it was exciting atmosphere in here. It's a pretty packed house at the Lenape South Gym. Big student section, the cheerleaders, everyone's in Lenape tonight.
Here comes a three. Good! On the right wing. That one falls from Lenape's number 3, Nolan Barnes, and the Indians lead 3-0. Bringing this one up the point is James Lawson. We saw Vineland last on February the 6th versus Clearview, a game that they won by 10. This one's moving inside. Barnes able to use that speed to get in there, and he gets fouled. There's nothing like a good playoff atmosphere, and this is another one where there is not a lot of room to breathe in this gym, as this will be inbounded by number 12 in Colin Myers. I said Halfpenny by mistake. But the three fell from Barnes to open the scoring. And another foul. So we've had 3 fouls all on Vineland in the first 45 seconds of the game, and already picking up 2 is going to be Tavion Davis.
And someone I really want to talk about is Nolan Barnes. Like you said, knocked down that first 3. He's averaging 16 this year, and he had 23 the other day against Pennsauken. He's a team leader in 2-point makes. I mean, knocking down a 3 there, obviously, but someone to look out for along with Boyd.
Moving over to the right side again, that'll be Chapman. Back to Bold, or check that. Goes in for Jaden Boyd. 5-0 run for the Indians here. The 2 seed in South Jersey Group 4 picked up a 71-37 win over Pennsauken in Thursday's quarterfinal, and here comes a breakaway. Look out below, it'll get a right-hand lay. 7-0 run for Lenape.
Another guy, Nolan Barnes, like we just talked about, going to have a huge impact tonight. He's averaging the most points this year for Lenape. He's just been super impressive the entire way. Wearing number 3, he's going to be fun to watch.
Good pump fake to create some space on the offense, but Lawson turns it over. It will go back to the Indians, who heave it across the floor, puts up a 3. Good! Make that a 10-0 run, and Will Wareham calls a timeout. The Indians are red hot for the red and black. We'll take a break. 6:13 left in the first. 10-0 Lenape. ESPN, as we mentioned, well, the ESPN Lenape edition, they're in the house. As we get back rolling, 6:05 left in the first. Will Wareham burned a timeout, a 30-second timeout. I'm Dan Wilkins of Rowan College of South Jersey, joined by Colin Morris of Highland Regional High School. This one gets away. Vineland still looking for their first points of the night. They get stopped at the foul line, pulling up, baseline, blocked. Great block that time by Nolan Barnes, and Lenape's strong opening run continues as they continue to shut out the Fighting Clan with 2 triples so far.
And I feel like that was a good timeout from William Wareham of Vineland. I think they needed to regroup a little bit. It didn't pay off on the first drive, but now with a turnover here, it might have just paid off.
Let's see here. Vineland moves this one up. It'll get handed off to number 12, Dominic Bailey. Little contact there as Lawson will fire it out, kicks it out to the near corner. No good on the 3. Ricardo Johnson picks up the rebound. Almost got a deep 3, but he pump faked it, and now he'll crawl inside. Johnson puts it up high off the glass and good. That's the first points for Vineland, and it's 10-2. 5 minutes remaining in the first quarter here from the Lenape South Gym. 10-0 run by the Indians gets broken up with that 2-point lay by Ricardo Johnson, the 6'8" center, who went, again, when we saw him last, as there goes another shot by Boyd. That one's good. Again, when we saw Vineland last, Ricardo Johnson, he put up 25 points in that game. Just such an outstanding presence inside. Really able to get anything done at will. But he's got a great head-to-head matchup tonight with Xavier Chapman. And again, we saw Lenape last also in the month of February at the very beginning, at February 1st, a 46-44 overtime loss to Holy Cross in the Holy Cross Showcase with a fantastic ball game by all. This one goes up. Great way to pass through contact. He finds Halfpenny. No good on the 3. Or rather, check that, excuse me. Keep getting Halfpenny and Myers mixed up. That was Myers who took that 3. No good there. Well, when one is 12 and the other's 21. Oh. Somebody hit the wrong button on their phone, I guess, but we've got 4 minutes left in the first. 12-2, Lenape leads Vineland. Second round of the South Jersey Group 4 playoffs. We saw earlier today Eastern downed Rancocas Valley, so that is who these teams will play if they are to victor tonight. That one gets stolen away. This time it's Halfpenny. He pump fakes, creates the space. No good on the 3. Vineland will get the rebound, ripping it away. will be Thomas.
And like you talked about, Ricardo Johnson, we talked about him as a scorer, but the other day had 16 rebounds. Very impressive.
That one goes. I do want to make a correction. Somebody told me it was 1993. It was 2007 where they beat Lacey Township, the Fighting Clan. They beat them by 20 at home for their last playoff win. So I apologize. There was a reporter that said it was 1993. I don't know where I got that number from, but still 2007. That is still 19 years.
And it's huge for Vineland, right? They're in
absolutely.
They're in a big-time game now. I mean, got over their first challenge with a tight win over Central, but now it's the real deal, Dan.
Absolutely. This is where they turn boys into men. As there's a three. Boyd from the right wing. He's got 7 points. Or 5, rather. Colin's correcting me on all of this. It's 10. I apologize. We had a lot of technical difficulties going into this broadcast, so I'm still kind of adjusting.
The main point we want you to know is
we want to make a good impression for Vineland and Lenape, two teams that are great with their media. Lenape with LDTV, Vineland with VPS Broadcasting. Both do a fantastic job. So we want to represent these schools the best that we can tonight, as this one's going to be a foul. Lawson got hounded on his way up.
And the main point we were making about Jaden Bold is he's been taking over so far. 10 points out of the first 15 for Lenape. Super impressive start for Boyd, the junior guard, standing at 6'1", 160.
So Lawson will go to the line for 2. Lenape will make themselves known at the student section, and the first shot does go for the Clan. 15-5. You know, I mean, listen, Cumberland County pretty underrepresented in the high school basketball world. I mean, obviously you've got Millville, who's had some good seasons in recent years. You've got Bridgeton down there, who was the 14 seed in this year's Group 4 bracket, had to face Howell, which they lost to. Had to play Atlantic City in the quarterfinals. This one gets away, stopped at the basket. This one will be a handoff. Lawson did not want to take the 3 from that distance. Now he goes back to the semicircle in the light gray, gets a pump fake, tried to draw Halfpenny into him. Myers into him, rather. We're going to have an offensive foul. Will Wareham disagrees. Listening to what the referee had to say. And we've got 2:01 left in the first, 15-6 Lenape.
I was just getting ready to compliment Chris Thomas on that block. A big-time turnover for Vineland. Really could have swung the momentum there, but then commits the foul on the offensive side.
9-point lead for the Indians, firing it out to the left side. He's got an open look for 3. Good! Hello, Barnes. He's got 8 and 2 triples. It's been a 2-man show for Lenape so far. Boyd and Barnes. They have all of 18 points for Lenape here in the first quarter. As Vineland trapped on the baseline. Nice fadeaway that time by Dominic Bailey. And it's 18-8. Minute 30 left in the first. Here from Medford.
And on the Lenape side, Nolan Barnes, not really known as a three-point shooter, but he's been throwing them up tonight. So is Bolds, though. My goodness.
Jaden Boyd, 13 points here in the first quarter. Now 1 minute to play, 1 minute 10. 21-point barrage for Lenape here in the first. Spinning around, firing with the right side, fakes it to Johnson. A little bit too strong. Johnson gets the rebound, but he's fouled. It's called on the floor. And that will be Lenape's second team foul of the quarter. Vineland, great way to stay conservative on the defensive side. They picked up 3 fouls in 45 seconds. They've only committed 1 since and have not given Lenape the bonus. So I give them credit for that.
And the one thing about Ricardo Johnson is we haven't seen it yet today, but he's been to the line many times this year, 145 to be exact. So he's going to throw his fair share.
3! How about Lawson from downtown and then some? Picks up the triple, and it's 21-11. This crowd still filing in. Again, not a lot of room to breathe here in the Lenape South Gym, one of the largest gyms I've ever been in South Jersey. No better place to host the Group 4 quarterfinals here. Underhand flip, great pass, great feed, great 3! The three-point palooza continues as that one gets knocked down by Nolan Barnes. They're both over double digits. It's the Barnes and Boyd show.
They might have to make that an LLC after this. I mean,
yeah.
my goodness, what a start for the Lenape duo. They've just been all over the court on every single
hit
side.
The metal pipe. It'll go out of bounds. 13-point lead for Lenape. Subbing into the game after a brief absence on the bench will be Jaden Boyd. He will sub in for Dante Diaz, number 11. Ref will hand this one off to Myers, who inbounds it. Lets it roll. We've got 7 on the clock. They're past half court. Hounded on the right side. Back to the right wing. 3 to shoot. Deep 3. Good! What can't the Lenape Indians do? This is unbelievable. 27 points in the first quarter. You can't make this up, folks. It's a 3-point barrage in Medford. 27-11. We'll take a break right after this. Welcome back. This broadcast is brought to you by Harper Driving School. Over 90% of students who take their New Jersey State driving test with Harper pass on their first attempt. Book an appointment today at Suite 4 of the Total Turf Complex in Pittman at 614 Lambs Road, just minutes from Route 55. Well, if you're one of the over 220 joining us so far here in the second quarter, we just tipped off with Lenape up 27-11. It has been the Barnes and Boyd show. 16 for Boyd, 11 for Nolan Barnes, and now Vineland tries to join the three-point party, tipped by Johnson, but rebounded by Halfpenny as that 3 missed at the top of the key by Dominic Bailey. Tries to get a drive to the lane. Johnson blocked it. Lenape wanted a goaltend, but they will not get it, and Vineland will get the ball back with a quick swipe. Lawson will get called for the travel on the spin and fire that time. And with 7:25 left in the second, Will Wareham speaking some words of wisdom into James Lawson as we resume play with Lenape possession. Again, Vineland 21-5 this year. Second in the division, but first by overall record in the Cape Atlantic United. Holy Spirit took the division title with 19 total wins as that ball gets floated up. Chapman tried to get it back. That one's going to roll out to the far corner, and Vineland will get it back with Lenape retreating. They'll get the turnover. Lawson, the point, will run this one up on the right side. He's shot his handful of threes here in the first quarter. In this game, if Lenape scored 27 points in the first quarter, imagine how many they can get in 4. Again, this is a team that put up 71 points, beat Pennsauken by a boatload, 71-37 in the first round back on Thursday.
And they're going to have to. It doesn't matter what kind of score it is, even in the first quarter, even at halftime. This Vineland team is not going to let up, and we've seen it happen before already.
Look at that underhand feed. Oh, that was a rare miss that time, but Chapman missed on the open look there. So a 1-2 punch and a swing and a miss for Lenape, as the 3 was airballed and the second chance by Chapman was also well wide. Lawson moving over to the right. Lenape fires it inside. Lawson now back inside. And Vineland using that inside attack to counter the Indians there as Chris Thomas knocks down that 2-point layup. And he's got 4.
And a good move for Chris Thomas. Like you said, 4th point of the night. He's averaging only 6, so he's right there, as well as 3 rebounds. He only had 5 against Central.
Vineland beat Central by 2 points. 43-41, a low-scoring affair. As Halfpenny, no good. That one is a foul. Chapman made some contact with number 2, Christian Joins, on the way down.
And we've talked about Boyd and Barnes early on, but Halfpenny's really been the shooter this year for Lenape. 83 3-point shots made. My apologies. He's really been the big shooter for the Indians, but so far, like you said, Boyd and Barnes, my goodness.
They have been electric, and sometimes that's all you need. Sometimes you need to start on the right foot and get that lead to go. With Lenape 19-9, and that ties in exactly to what we were talking about. As that ball goes, really nice lay inside there by Thomas, and it will make it 27-15. Vineland back within single digits. Over to the right side, Halfpenny, back to the top to Diaz. Over to Boyd. He'll cross over with Lawson. Goes up. Maybe a little bit of embellishment there, but no foul, and that will go out on the baseline. Lenape will keep possession with Dante Diaz in for the inbound. Again, Matt Wolf has been this head coach of this Lenape team for a couple of years now. Best season was 26-4 in recent years, back in 2021 to 22. As that one gets turned over, they were 9-0 to start the year. And if you remember, in early January, their first loss was a half-court heave by Seneca's Kingston Williams to hand Lenape their first loss of the year. They then lost again to Cherry Hill East and then had a 4-game losing streak in late January, losing to Camden, Kingsway, Eastern, and Cherokee. Now, if there's any group of teams that you could afford a 4-game losing streak to, it's those guys. I mean, those are some of the best that we've seen in South Jersey this year, as Lawson's 3 is no good. But they definitely did pick up the slack at the end, picking up 4 straight wins going into the Burlington County tournament. They were upset, though, by Doan Academy in the quarterfinal round. Doan Academy beat them 59-51 after Lenape downed Cinnaminson 76-34. Here comes a 3 from Diaz. That's good. Off the bench, Dante Diaz. The first man not named Barnes or Boyd. And it's a 30-piece for Lenape here in the first half. Although, 27 points in the first quarter, that's Lenape's first basket of the second. As it goes out of bounds, Lenape ball.
And like you said, Dante Diaz, the first guy to score other than Boyd and Barnes, but he's really been that first guy off the bench all year for Lenape. He knocks down his first 3 there. He's been impressive. The senior, standing at 6 foot.
118 points, 52 rebounds for Diaz in 28 games. Had a season high of 18 versus Absegami in a 73-39 win during that aforementioned 4-game winning streak in early February. Lawson taking his time in front of the Lenape bench. Moving inside, Thomas hounded by double. And let's see, late whistle, offensive foul called on the Fighting Clan. Little bit of confusion there as Lenape wanted to travel, but they'll take the offensive foul as a consolation prize. 3:35 left in the first half. 3:30 and counting here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. If you'd like to make a contribution to DWB, as here comes a 3, heavy contact. Boyd wanted a foul. If you'd like to make a contribution to Dan Wilkins Broadcasting, a lot of us are college and high school students looking to advance our careers in sports broadcasting and media. You can send us anything you'd like on our Venmo at DW Broadcasting. No spaces, no hyphens, and of course, none of it is required, but keeping free journalism alive in South Jersey and all throughout the tri-state area needs the support of viewers like you. So if you can, and if you may, or if you need to, your contributions will be incredibly appreciated. During that read, we've had 2 fouls on the floor. This one charged against Lenape. It's their 3rd. Foul is going to go against number 20 in Will Bunting. Off the bench here, he's in the paint now for Lenape. Lawson has this one. 3 minutes remaining in the first half. Lawson working through traffic, and he gets it to fall. Again, just such a physical point guard in James Lawson. He's now got 5 points for Vineland.
Good find there for Chris Thomas. Could have been a sketchy inbound situation, but finds his man and lets him go to work.
Ooh, nice call there. I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know how that wasn't a foul. I definitely disagree with that. As here comes Boyd inside. Now he gets fouled.
I don't know what's happening in this game either right now. My goodness.
Listen, there's been a lot of physicality in this game. And I think that with Johnson getting ready to sub back in, listen, I think that this game is going to be very physical. It's going to continue to be physical. Thank goodness we haven't had a scramble for a jump ball yet, or else this game might blow the roof off this place. But I think that with how these teams are playing, the refs do kind of have to set a bar for, what constitutes how hard do we want to get fouls here. There comes a triple in the corner. Lenape knocks down another halfpenny. And it's now 33-17. His first points of the evening. The sun had already set when we parked in the parking lot. That's how late this game is, 7:30 p.m. tip-off.
That's unusual, right? You see a lot of 5:30s. You'll see some 7s even, but even if they're 7s, we're usually here when the daylight is still out.
Well, remember, the reason why this game was scheduled for 7:30 was because Lenape hosted the District 28 wrestling tournament. As now Johnson goes in, tried to chuck it off the glass, no good. But this Lenape gym, as we were talking with Brian, the athletic director at Lenape, it's been packed all day. And when we kind of came in, it was one of the few moments that it's been quiet all night. As this one's going to go up, left-hand lay for Barnes is good. 35-17, Lenape leads here by a nice handful here. Minute 20 left in the first half. Again, Lenape opened the game with a 10-0 run and then dropped 27 points in the first quarter, including 6 triples. Lawson hounded by Boyd. He'll get out of it. Pump fakes. Switching around that pivot foot a lot. That one's going to get knocked down and flying in. We're going to have a foul here. It's going to get charged against Vineland's number 34. And actually, no, it's going to be against number 12, Dominic Bailey. I thought originally they were going to call it against John DeVault, but Halfpenny's going to get subbed out of the game. And with a minute and 3 left in the first half, still a highly competitive game. Again, winner of this game plays Eastern. They beat Rancocas Valley, the number 11 seed, by several possessions in Voorhees. And DeVault backed up to the basket. He'll put this one up. No good.
And even though James Lawson has been the guy for Vineland, they got to be careful here with him. Looks like he's trying to take over this game almost, and if he's going to try to do that, Vineland's going to be out of luck real quick.
Yeah, I think that Vineland's got to distribute the ball more. I really think that, listen, Ricardo Johnson's a great scorer in the paint. Even if he can't get the shot up to the basket, make him draw the foul. Make him use his frame to his advantage. That's what Vineland's got to do here. But listen, Will Wareham, first-year head coach at Vineland, he's going to find a way to either, win this game on his fundamentals and on the roster that he has, obviously taking over for Dan Russo, who is now going to be the football coach at Vineland for a second time. Matt Wolf is trying to call a timeout. He didn't get it. He is irate. He cannot believe that he didn't get the call. He had been putting his hands for a signal for a timeout for 10 seconds, and now the basket falls for Vineland. 35-19. Wolf is in disbelief. I mean, I think everybody saw that he called that, or he signaled for the timeout. But this gym is so loud, it's hard to hear myself in my own headset as Boyd can't get that shot to go, and that will end this first half. Matt Wolf not too happy with the calls, but he will be happy with the team as they lead by double digits here over the Vineland Fighting Clan here in the quarterfinal of South Jersey Group 4 with a score of 35-19. Dan's team's going to take the floor for the Indians, and we're going to take a break. We'll be back in 10 minutes.
May is Mental Health Awareness Month. It is the responsibility of all of us to make sure that our friends, family, and anybody who we hold dear in our lives is feeling well.
The problem with spotting mental health issues is that the symptoms aren't that obvious. Just because someone is okay or appears okay on the outside doesn't mean that they're okay on the inside.
It's important that if they are in distress, that they call the right people and they get the help that they need.
And it is very important that we treat each other with respect, regardless of who you are or where you come from. But it is just as important that we treat ourselves with respect, regardless of the situation going on in our lives.
If you're in distress, you can call this number, 988, or you can visit any of these websites if you're not in distress, but would like to learn more information about mental health awareness and research.
Book Dog Pro Wrestling for your next event or outing for the greatest action that New Jersey Pro Wrestling has to offer. Any place, any time, any setting. Dog Pro Wrestling will bring the action to you, and you won't want to miss it for moments like this. But don't just take it from me. Take it from Max Mundo, the Dog Pro Wrestling ambassador.
This is Max Mundo with Dog Pro Wrestling. Are you a civic organization, sporting club looking to fundraise? Then look no further to Dog Pro Wrestling. We do grand openings, corporate events, and much more.
And why not from some of the wrestling talent themselves?
I'm Vinny the Fixer, and I'm the champion of Dog Professional Wrestling. If you want to book the best, come see us. We're the cream of the crop. We'll come to any fundraiser you can think of. Just name the place, and we'll show up.
This is the upstanding Dylan Mesh, and for the entirety of my professional wrestling career, dog wrestling has been a mainstay for where I like to wrestle. So you can believe me when I say that it is quality. And I'm upstanding. I'm the only opinion you need.
Yeah! It's your boy Gabriel Hodder here with my man Matthew Oman, and if you want your events to be all fight, no flight,
then book Dog Wrestling so you can witness true primal fear. Woo!
In life, the road ahead is full of possibilities, but to navigate it safely, you need the right skills. Harper Driving School is the premier driving school serving Gloucester, Salem, and Camden counties. With experienced instructors, many of whom are teachers in local schools, we are dedicated to your success and will help you master the road with confidence. With an over 95% success rate of students passing their road test on their first try, you know your student will be in good hands while embarking on a huge step of their young adult lives, all while avoiding the lines at the DMV and getting insurance discounts.
We chose Harper, and so should you.
And Argabright with a full count. Outfielders in communication for the Quakers. Everyone's looking around in a tie game, bottom of the sixth. The 3-2 payoff. Ground ball. It's going to get over the head of Tolbert into left field. That's a base hit. 2-run score. Argabright delivers when asked. 5-3. Alex Argabright has given the Golden Eagles a 5-3 lead in the bottom of the sixth inning.
Jack Mastero, 2 for 3 with a strikeout, a double, and a single. Looking to play hero. He's going to line this one into right center field, and that's going to drop. That's going to do it if they don't get a throw down. Mastero's going to second, and Danza's coming home. Sectional champions, Gloucester Catholic. They do it in a walk-off fashion as GC with Mastero playing hero. An unbelievable
Welcome back from Lenape High School. I'm Dan Wilkins, joined by Colin Morris on the call. We've got ourselves a good one. Vineland trails Lenape 35-19 as entering the third quarter. This has been an interesting game so far with a mostly dominant show by Barnes and Boyd. 16 for Boyd, 13 for Barnes. You can see there the little banner, or big banner, for Jason Thompson, the 8-year NBA veteran who graduated from Lenape in 2004, went on to play at Ryder and was actually a starter for several years on those Kings teams from 2008 to 2015. Spent his last season between the Warriors and the Raptors. That was not the Warriors team that won the finals. They were the one that lost in 7 to LeBron and the Cavaliers, but started 81 games for the Cavs, and rather for the Kings in 2012, 2013. That team had, famous March Madness legend Jimmer Fredette, but also had a young Isaiah Thomas, Aaron Brooks, DeMarcus Cousins, Tyreek Evans. A lot of flashback names. But as Vineland comes out of the huddle, talking to first-year head coach Will Wareham, this was a game that looked like Lenape was going to run away with it. They had 27 points in the first quarter. Now Vineland and Lenape seem almost even in the second. How do you feel these two teams are going to play it out in the third and fourth?
Well, I'm not sure in terms of Vineland making a comeback here, right? They're going to have to start now. They only got 16 more minutes to do it. But for Lenape on the other side, Jaden Boyd and Nolan Barnes. Boyd with 16, Barnes with 13. They've been leading the charge. It's been Chris Thomas for Vineland on the other side. He has 6, so they're going to have to start now. They're going to have to slow down the Indians in some way, Dan.
Yeah, it was 27-11 at the end of the first, and now it's 35-19. So both teams put up single-digit points in a very defensive first half. Didn't even see that many fouls. But as we enter the third, it's a 16-point lead as there's a nice save to Chapman. It'll go to Halfpenny, and now back to Myers as Lenape will pass it about beyond half court.
And that was a good job by Colin Myers keeping that in. Just a good hustle play. You always love to see that, especially when Lenape's up 16. They can't let up, and Colin Myers has no intentions of letting up.
Ooh, not going to call a foul there. Again, Matt Wolf adding another reason to his list to not be amused with the referees tonight, as Lawson through his hands. They're going to say it was tipped, and they're going to say we will have a live ball. So we continue play with Chapman now on the three-point line. He'll bring it back to Barnes, now back to Myers at the top of the key.
And a point that I made earlier this evening, James Lawson been the guy for Vineland all year, but that's a guy that's going to have to start spreading the ball a little bit. They've game planned for this. Lenape is super, super well coached. They knew what was coming in, and they're going to have to continue capitalizing on shutting him down, but it might not last for long. Right now, no scoring, though.
Yeah, no scoring in the first minute and 40 seconds, but that ends right now with Lawson going to the basket. He's got 7. And the Fighting Clan get their 21st point of the game. 35-21, 14-point lead for the Indians. Number 2 seed wearing black and red. Vineland in white and red tonight. The number 7 seed, 21-5. Chapman goes up with a little bit of hesitation. It's enough to get the basket to fall. And Lenape's got their first point of the second half. Just felt like the floodgates had to open. A lot of defense in the first minute or two of the third. But then Lawson got a bucket. Chapman got a bucket. Now it goes over to the right side. Moving in for Thomas, and it barely falls. He'll get the roll. And Vineland still continuing to attack inside. I think, honestly, that what hurt Vineland in the first quarter was they were way too incessant on matching Lenape's three-point attack. They do not have nearly as many threes as the Lenape Indians, but they tried to match their style of play anyway just to catch up. And sometimes that's what happens. You get those first quarter jitters where a team comes out with a hot run and you really don't know how to attack it, as Barnes gets another basket inside. He's got 15, and Lenape adds on another point to their lead, 39-23.
And like you said, for Vineland, not a huge amount of three-point shooters. Dominic Bailey leads the team with 47, but on the other side, compared to Lenape's Brett Halfpenny, 80. So
he set the school record for that in the first round as almost, oh man, he wanted a dunk. He let it go at the last second, and then he ended up just whiffing on it. That's going to go out of bounds, and a big mistake by Lenape there, and the crowd groans at that call, or excuse me, at that decision, as Vineland will have the ball. They're going to bring this one back to Thomas, and he'll dump it off to their guard, number 2 in Christian Joins.
And look, there's nothing cooler in the playoffs than getting a crowd pop, making the crowd go crazy.
Oh, Johnson blocked. How about that? You could hear the slap of the ball from the top row where we're set up. And Lawson will inbound. It will remain Vineland possession, and that one's going to get turned over. Open field in front, one-on-one, driving with the right. Lawson fouls him. And running out of room on the baseline was Nolan Barnes, and he's going to go to the foul line for 2 shots for our first free throws of the second half.
And flashing back to that Jaden Boyd missed dunk, if you will, taking the layup there. You just got to take the points in this situation.
Just have to take the points.
At halftime, you're coming out with a 16-point lead. It's just you just have to continue it going. You don't need it to be flashy. There's nothing cooler as an athlete than going up, making the crowd go crazy, getting
especially
the gym
right
fired
in front of that
up.
Student section there.
But you just got to take the points. Got to play the smart game. Got to play the long game, if you will, in the end, and retain that lead.
Second shot, no good. Johnson picked up the rebound off the board. As this one comes out, the ball backpedaled back to Lawson. Bit of a weird hop. Johnson catches a one-hand lob inside, and he's going to fire this one off the glass. Using that defensive prowess to his advantage. Still a 15-point lead for Lenape, but it feels like Vineland is refusing to bow out of this game. It's 40-25.
And as long as they can kind of keep it at this margin, it's going to be hard for Lenape to put this one away.
Oh, he almost tried to slam that one down, too, for Xavier Chapman. That one doesn't go. And now Lawson gets that one up. Feels like these guys are 80% of the way to getting a dunk, and then they just, hold on here, got a foul on the floor in the middle of the pass. It's going to be on Colin Myers, and he will immediately get subbed out of the game because that is his 3rd foul. And I'm sure Matt Wolf wants to stay ultra-conservative with his foul handling. That is the first team foul committed by Lenape, 3rd personal against the guard, Colin Myers.
And Myers just another one of those hustle guys, kind of fun to watch. He's just going to get after it, and that's not a guy you're going to want to lose, especially in the final 8 minutes. So good move from Coach Wolf there, getting him out, giving him some rest. He'll grab some water and get ready to check back in when it really matters.
They have Dante Diaz now on the floor. All others are starters as this one gets taken away. High pass, right hand. Lawson goes for the block. Second chance is good by Nolan Barnes. As again running out of room on the baseline, Lenape missed the first shot, got the putback to fall, and it's 42-25. And we are going to have a foul called by the ref at center court. And it's going to be charged. Well, first of all, DeVault will check back in for Vineland.
John DeVault he's listed at 6'4", 190.
Well, Matt Wolf is going to get the timeout that he was quite adamant about getting in the second quarter, and now he'll get to talk it over with his guys. 3:05 left in the third. I'm Dan Wilkins, joined by Colin Morris. We will take a quick break right after this. Welcome back. This broadcast is brought to you by the Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators, or Dog Pro Wrestling, New Jersey's premier pro wrestling organization with high-flying events and nonstop entertainment throughout the Garden State. Visit dawgprowrestling.com for more information. Their next event will be on Friday, March 6th at Rowan University, an event for all Rowan students. And then they're also going to have an event at Pinelands Regional High School in Little Egg Harbor, New Jersey on May 3rd. So a timeout by Matt Wolf. Let's take a look at what Vineland's dealing with in the Cape Atlantic United Division as they lead by overall record. They're 21-5, Holy Spirit ahead of them, but it's really a 4-man race. You've got Vineland, Holy Spirit, Pleasantville, who's hanging around there, and then Hamilton hanging around 500 at 13-13. And then the bottom three, Oak Crest, Cape May Tech, and Buna, as Diaz misses a wide-open layup. Huge mistake that time.
Yeah, Dante Diaz has been really good off the bench for Lenape this year. Been that kind of sixth man. Just a physical mistake there. Had the wide open look, just too hard off the glass.
Lawson does not get that one to fall. Now another putback is good by Nolan Barnes. What a night it's been for him and for Jaden Boyd. The two of them have been electric. It's going to be hard to decide a player of the game when both of them have such equal but such opportunistic stat lines. That one's going to hit off the top of the, it didn't hit the metal, but it just hit the top of the backboard. As there's going to be a hard foul. DeVault got tangled up with Boyd, and we're going to get 2 foul shots here. And while we get the chance, we'll also look at the other side of the coin with Lenape with their standings in the Olympic American. You know, the Olympic American is one of the toughest conferences, one of the toughest divisions in South Jersey. Cherry Hill East is the number 1 seed in this bracket. They beat Toms River North in the first round. They're now going to have a date with the number 8 team Southern, or rather, in the second round. But then Eastern is who Lenape will play if they win tonight, or if Vineland wins tonight, that's who they'll play. And then Cherokee and Rancocas Valley. Rancocas Valley we saw on Thursday upset Kingsway in the first round of South Jersey Group 4. So at the line, Boyd goes 2 for 2. 46-25. 21-point lead for Lenape. Not as bold as when they beat Pennsauken, holding them to 37 points, but now a 3 front iron. Rebounded by Diaz. He'll blaze this one up the floor, stopping on the volleyball line. He'll go back out to the top of the key for Boyd. Now to Chapman. Haven't heard much from him tonight. He's held to just 2 points, but now he's got another basket. Make me a liar. Will Wareham calls a timeout. 1:44 left in the third. It'll be a full timeout, and we will also take a timeout. 48-25. Lenape up by 23 over Vineland. Welcome back to Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. We'll be on the air on Monday, March 2nd in South Jersey Group 1, going from a massive gym like this to a smaller one over in North Camden. We'll see the Glassboro Bulldogs facing off against the Kip Cooper Norcross Titans in 12v4. Glassboro upset Burlington City in the first round of Group 1 with former Woodbury coach Lionel Payne. Lawson goes up. We're going to have a blocking foul. And I think that's the right call there with Diaz. He lowered that shoulder. And we say it like a broken record, but at the high school level, these kids, a lot of them don't know how to draw a charge when somebody's driving up to the basket. They don't know how to do it correctly, let's say. What Diaz did there, any kind of movement is going to draw a blocking foul. It is not going to go your way if you do anything but stand there like a statue. And that's exactly what Lawson did. And I think, honestly, a lot of players on offense, on a lot of different teams, as Lawson misses both, I think a lot of teams know that. So they tell their guys, hey, drive to the basket. They're going to try to draw the charge, but a lot of teams aren't going to do it right. So we've got a timeout called by Matt Wolf. It's a 30-second timeout. So we'll stay here and we'll finish up this point. But I think a lot of teams that are smart, they know that a lot of their opposition doesn't know how to properly draw charges when you're going up for a basket. So if you're Vineland, they say, hey, go inside like they're going to try to draw the charge, and there's a good chance you're going to end up getting a blocking foul and you're going to get 2 shots. Now, at that juncture, it ended up not mattering because Lawson missed both of his shots. But at the end of the day, Vineland was able to, to draw that foul, and they were able to, draw another one to Lenape, which is their third of the quarter.
And to add to that point, Dan, Vineland, they've kind of got their wins this year by doing just that. James Lawson, I was about to say, has been to the line over 110 times this year. Someone like Ricardo Johnson has 290 attempts at the line as well. So Vineland's won their games by knocking down their free throws and getting to the line and drawing fouls, putting the pressure on the opposing team. But tonight it's been hard with Lenape. They've just played them so well.
3 in front of the student section. Air ball that Diaz gets pushed from behind, and that will be a very clear foul. Dante Diaz will go to the line. I mean, can't get much easier than that. But we talk about, what it means for these two teams to win. Vineland was 6-0 to start their year, and they found a way to get themselves up and early. And by the way, we do know there is an issue with the camera. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but we'll diagnose it. We'll try to fix that for the fourth quarter. Diaz makes both. My point is, though, Vineland started out the year 6-0. Lenape started out the year 9-0. And then they both had their falterings. But Lenape's lost 9 games. Vineland's lost 5. Now, they are in the Cape Atlantic United, which is, I wouldn't say it's widely considered to be the lowest of the Cape Atlantic divisions, but when you have the guys in Cal American like St. Augustine and Ocean City, those guys that, are really racking up the big wins, yeah, I guess you could say that the United is their version of like a C-tier division. But Vineland's played competitively versus those teams from the American and the National, as Johnson, after heavy traffic and heavy pressure in the paint, puts up that shot and makes it 50-27 in favor of Lenape.
Look, and it doesn't matter where you're playing in South Jersey or in New Jersey for that, any division. Vineland still got to take care of business. They were 9-3 in the Cape Atlantic United. They finished second, like you said, and 21 wins is 21 wins, Dan. I mean, like,
absolutely.
If you're playing a team, you're playing a team. You're playing a certain division, you're playing a certain division, but it's easy to say it up here, but when you have to go down there and play in a division, it doesn't matter what division you're in. If you can earn 9 wins in a division, it's pretty impressive.
Exactly. Ooh, Lawson's going to get fouled. That's going to be 3 shots for Vineland. He missed the shot, but looked like a little bit of a light tap that time from Nolan Barnes, and I still think that I don't know. I'm about 3/4 of the way to saying that's a foul, but I think that it was a mix of there was contact, but Lawson definitely sold it there. He definitely sold that foul, which I listen. There's nothing wrong with doing that because it goes in his favor, but he'll make his first after missing twice from the line.
Lawson coming in a 69% free throw shooter, 153 for 221 coming into the game. So had his trips at the line in 2026, and he's cashed in on a handful of them, but the junior's going to have one more year to up his free throw percentage a little bit for his career.
10 seconds. Again, we know the camera's flickering in and out. We're going to fix it at the commercial break, but the camera turns on in time for a triple from the corner. Half-court heave, almost, but it falls that time from Brett Halfpenny, the 3-point leader for Lenape, as it's 53-30. Some of the Vineland crew making their way to the exits as it is a late ball game. It's a 7:30 p.m. tip-off. We've got one more to play. 23-point lead. Welcome back. I'm Dan Wilkins, joined by Colin Morris. If you're a small business owner interested in advertising with Dan Wilkins Broadcasting, we have affordable advertising rates for all types of businesses. Whether you're brick and mortar, an online store, or anyone looking to expose your brand to over 170,000 annual viewers, send us an email today at thedanwilkinsshow@gmail.com. We offer, again, affordable rates that meet whatever your business may need. And we get started with the fourth quarter. Again, I don't know what's going on with this camera here. Something with our cord. So it's not the camera itself. We do have a foul. Working on fixing it now. You haven't missed much yet. Don't worry. We'll stop the clock here on our end as we attend to the technical difficulties.
And up until this point, right, Lenape just trying to close out this game. They're going to try to probably extend this a little bit further until they start pulling their starters, but in that case, they have 7:30 to hang on to this, and the 23-point lead. You got to be feeling pretty comfortable with your coach Matt Wolf.
23-point lead again. You know, there's not a lot of scenarios where you can score 27 points in the first quarter of a game and lose. Lenape feels like they started better than they finished because they haven't been perfect all throughout the game, and nobody expects a team to be perfect. But Vineland, listen, it was 27-11 at the end of the first quarter. That's a 16-point advantage. Well, it's a 23-point lead now. So if you do the math, if you erase the first quarter from this game, Lenape only leads by 7. And both teams were held to single digits in the second quarter. It was, 35-17 at halftime. So, 35-19 at halftime, rather. My point is that as these teams go along, Vineland came a lot slower out of the gate, and Lenape was ready for that attack. And if you're not ready when the opening tip happens, that could hurt you badly.
And I saw a tweet yesterday, I believe it was, from Kevin Minnick, and it's like, this is the playoffs, right? If you don't show up, you're going to be handing in your jersey. And
exactly.
That is absolutely true.
Look at what we saw in Group 3. Number 15 seed, Mainland, took down Shawnee. I mean, that's one of the biggest upsets we've seen in a long time in South Jersey basketball. Oh, I don't know if Johnson didn't hear the whistle, but that block will not count in the box score as Diaz will inbound this one underneath the basket here. 53-31 rather. Open look. 3, Barnes, 23. And Lenape trying to put this game away with as many shots as they can, taking a page out of the first quarter. Foul and 1 for James Lawson as he's quite amped up. 2 subs coming in for Vineland. Number 1, Tayshawn Jones, and number 12, Dominic Bailey. Bailey was an original starter.
And even though it might
Lawson for the N1.
It might be a 23-point deficit at this point, but for these guys from the Fighting Clan, it's a couple of their last chances ever to participate in a high school basketball game. So you got to believe they're going to leave it all out on the line.
Absolutely. Halfpenny fires over. 3, Diaz. Back of the iron, flying in is Johnson. No foul, and they're going to give this ball to Vineland. Lawson, 823 points in his career. He is a junior, so we'll wear him if he remains Vineland's head coach. We'll have him for another year. 132 assists. Crazy thing for me is that last year he had 251 points and only 25 assists. He has brought that number up to 132 this year. He actually had 20 or more points in the first 6 games of the year through all of the month of December, and put up 30 in the regular season finale versus Mainland. 30 points, 8 assists. So he has been not only a selfless player, but a talented scorer for Vineland. Moving up and moving through the transition, finding the speed. It'll be a foul, and going to the line will be Nolan Barnes, 23 points. Again, he's got 23, Boyd with 18. If Lenape wins, no matter who wins tonight, they will play Eastern, the number 3 team. The only difference is, for Lenape, it will be a home game to be played on Tuesday, March the 3rd, as DeVault's going to get ready to check in. For Nolan Barnes, the senior, 837 points for him. Season high of 24 in December versus Eastern. Now, in the regular season, 2 for 2 that time for Barnes. He's got 25, so he's actually going to surpass his season high as Lawson goes down. Moving it back across the floor. Chapman ran out of room, and he got the basket to fall. Great shot in transition there as Chapman got the feed from a stationary player to a moving player. And here comes a steal. On the way. Left-hand lay is good. Nolan Barnes now with 27, and Lenape making themselves known here as the number 2 seed here in South Jersey Group 4, putting on a clinic tonight. Over to the right side. This one stepping back. Lawson, no good on the 3. Rebound by Jones. It's going to skip through, goes right through the 5-hole. Another man down. Lenape, they're playing 4-on-4, and it's good. That one falls that time for Xavier Chapman, and a timeout called by Matt Wolf. Lenape, a 31-point lead. They held Pennsauken to 37 points on Thursday, and they've held Vineland to 33 through most of this ball game. We'll have a full timeout. It's 64-33 right after the break. (64-33). Lenape looking like the heavy favorite here as the number 2 seed to advance in South Jersey Group 4. Again, Eastern down Rancocas Valley 59-50 to advance. We saw Rancocas Valley on Thursday. They beat Kingsway as an upset. That's going to be a foul. Will the basket count? I don't think it will. Yes, it will count for James Lawson. Subbing into the game is going to be number 24 in Bosco San Agustin.
And you're going to see Coach Matt Wolves kind of start emptying the bench here, right? Good size lead, 30-point lead, I guess.
Definitely want to rest
now.
some of those guys in the last 5 minutes if this game is settled.
Well, absolutely.
Well, it's going to get turned over, though. Lawson, 16 points. He's had 2 fouls in 1, and he's going to get fouled again. That's going to be Lenape's 4th of the quarter.
And they're going to need that rest, right? They're going to have a tough matchup coming in to Lenape on Tuesday. Eastern will travel from Voorhees Township.
Not a hefty hike, you know.
Good win for them today over Rancocas Valley, though, by 11. 60-49.
I was just a little bit off on that one then. Then Lawson's going to be at the line. This broadcast is brought to you by the South Jersey chapter of the National Adult Baseball Association. Registration is open for the spring of 2026 with games starting in late March, just a month from now. Visit online at southjerseynaba.com for registration with over 20 men's league baseball teams across 4 divisions. Lawson misses both foul shots. They're being hounded, and that's going to be another foul. It's going to get called on Vineland's number 13. That's going to be Javian Brown. Diaz has the ball, hounded at the baseline, and Vineland's going to pick up another foul. So we might be here for a little while. We've now got 4 fouls on each side and definitely in the risk of giving either side the bonus with 4:38 to play. Sliding over. This one's going to be a nice pass. Lenape trying to beat the break by Vineland on the baseline. Diaz going up. Nice miss. That one goes for Bosco San Agustin. And it's a 30-point game again. Going up. That one goes for DeVault. So DeVault's got 4 points off the bench. Now a wide open look. San Agustin. Oh. Well, the freshman wanted his highlight reel, but he didn't get it. And now Diaz gets fouled. That's going to be 5 on Vineland. That'll give Lenape the bonus. I guess I can't be too mad at that. They're getting some folks separated here. Dante Diaz not too thrilled. James Lawson with a little bit of talking. Making sure everybody keeps the peace here. Especially in a 28-point game, Last thing you want is for things to get unsportsmanlike, as Diaz, first shot is good. Still some, hold on here, hold on. The head ref just stepped in, and they're getting Diaz and Lawson separated. Matt Wolf is talking to the referee. They're still chirping. And that ref is standing in between them at the foul line. They're saying no more. And I know that ref very well from the football world. He does not mess around. Diaz makes a second. Wonder if they're going to sub Diaz out to de-escalate the situation. They will. So Diaz makes both. Lenape with a 30-point lead, 68-38. James Lawson will move this one up after a little bit of drama. He'll go up. He is fouled. It's a blocking foul, and the basket will count. So Lawson's going to have the chance for his third foul and one. So again, the intensity heating up when we least expected it. But it's now 68-40 as Lawson's going to try to cut the lead again. But again, I think Matt Wolf definitely pulled Dante Diaz from the game as a little bit of a precaution with those two. Let's just say they weren't exactly exchanging weekend plans.
Well, I don't think there's any need for the controversy at this point. But
I mean, listen, the game's settled and done. It's 4 minutes left. Lenape's pulled most of their starters. Here comes a three. No good. From number 10 that time in Henry Laskowski. Now it's San Agustin. They're going to try another three on the left wing. Yeah, really, it's just a lot of entertainment at this point. San Agustin's going to get a steal. He'll feed it back over to Laskowski, feeding it around the world. Another three.
Oh, my goodness.
They just keep missing it. And again, I think that's partially what's making Vineland maybe upset about the situation. They're going to try another three.
Oh.
Another miss. This gym is going nuts.
They want
a game that is settled and done. They want their kids on their bench to get their moment, as Lawson will have a 20-piece. He's got 21 with that layup.
They want that cherry on top, if you will. I mean, this bench, everyone's on their feet. The entire student section, they've been on their feet since the first quarter. So, I mean, obviously a great showing for them.
Yeah,
but
a lot of threes from Will Bunting. San Agustin gets the ball ripped away by number 0, Jackson Sereny. Sliding over to the right side, trying to get through it, is Christian Joins. Now another three near corner is good. That one will get knocked down by Chris Thomas. He's got 11. And Vineland has now cut the lead significantly, although it may not matter by that much. It's 68-46. Passed over to the right side. It's number 34. Now another three. It's good. Will Bunting gets this crowd berserk. Parents, students, and the dance team. Let's just say Will Bunting is a fan favorite in Medford. That one doesn't go. Now 2 minutes left. Here comes an open look. Bunting with just missed it. They're trying to be a little bit flashy here. Matt Wolf, though, not really caring, as there will be an intentional foul that time. Oh, they're going to have a travel. Travel was called, no foul. All right, so they're going to call a timeout, but they're not going to go to the bench. They're going to get a lot of subs in. This Lenape bench is loving it, though. This crowd's going nuts. They are not heading for the exits.
I don't know why you would at this point. I mean, this is a fun atmosphere if you're an Indians fan. I mean,
5 subs coming in the game.
It's a great job by the Lenape.
Oh, my goodness, listen to this crowd.
Getting it done, kind of your standing ovation there on the night. I mean, they just took down a real contender in Vineland by a large margin, and I don't know, man, Eastern's going to have some prep to do with this crowd.
They absolutely will, but Eastern and Lenape quite familiar with each other in the Olympic American. Lenape beat Eastern by 1 possession in December. They lost to Eastern by 5 when they played in mid-January, 71-66. Pardon, 64-59. It's 71-46 now. But now the crowd's starting to settle down a little bit. 1:38 left in the fourth. That ball just goes in. That time on the first foul shot by Christian Joins. Second bench scorer. As Vineland kind of waving the white flag, if you will, pulling some of their starters from the game.
And a couple of ovations
pulling
there.
Lawson as well, along with Chris Thomas.
And we saw it on Thursday, at Kingsway. A couple of ovations there. I mean, these seniors.
Yeah, absolutely. Win or lose, these players have put in their heart and soul into their respective team, all year round, but especially from December to March. As this will get taken by Vineland. That pass gets tipped. He got it back. They're going to chuck up a three. It's no good from number 4, Aiden Flores. On the floor for Lenape is number 23, Gabe Katrurig. Number 50, Noah Myers. Number 33 in Evan Falla, as that three is no good, out of bounds. And then also number 23. Oh, no, we already mentioned 23. Who else are we missing? I don't know who we're missing, but Vineland has number 2 in Christian Joins, number 0 in Jackson Cerny, and then number 14 in Landon Costello, number 4 in Aiden Flores, and number 44 in Nathan Boone. Ball got tipped around a few times. We got 40 seconds left. We'll see if Lenape holds, but again, mostly, if not all, substitutes in the game for Vineland and Lenape here. 30 seconds. Back out to the top. Here comes the three. It's good. With a wave to the crowd from number 32 for Lenape. And it's 74-49. Flores can't get the basket. It'll get rattled away, and they'll save it with 12 seconds left. Lenape will hold on, and the Eastern Vikings, get your homework done. This is going to be a fun Tuesday night. Lenape 74, Vineland 49. They advance to the South Jersey Group 4 semifinals on this Saturday night. Fantastic. Just domination from start to finish as Lenape takes home a big win over Vineland. Wow. Yeah, that was fun. Lenape takes down Vineland 74-49. What a game this was. Nolan Barnes, 27 points. Jaden Boyd, 18. There's not a lot of guys who could score like him, and Lenape led that even scoring attack tonight.
And it was, like you said, Dan, just really fun atmosphere at Lenape. Jaden Boyd, like you said, 20, but it was really Nolan Barnes who turned it up in the second half, kind of cementing this game, doing his part. 27 points is a new season high for him, and Eastern's going to have their work cut out for them, not only with the team, but this crowd, man. That student section, electric. Even the cheer team, the dance team, everyone getting in on that. The fans, parents, everyone in between. What a fun night on DWB. We were happy to be here, happy to bring you coverage. And
especially two big schools. I mean, it's definitely an electric atmosphere as Lenape greets their student section over there. No, I mean, listen, there are not a lot of teams that can score 27 points in the first quarter and lose a ball game. And Lenape really showed that, they started better than they finished. Lenape, like I said, Vineland would have had a 7-point lead. Would have had a trail by 7 points going into the fourth quarter if you erase the first. The second and third were really even. Vineland played well. They matched up well against Lenape's offense, but it was the first quarter. It was the start. 6 triples, 27 points. There's not a lot of teams that can score at the efficiency that Lenape did, and they didn't even need to score all 32 minutes. The fourth quarter, 5 minutes in, they pull all their starters. They bring out the B team. They bring out the C team. They did exactly what they needed to do, and Lenape found their way to get an easy win in the score column versus a Vineland team that went 21-5. They lost 3 games in the regular season in the Cal United. They found a way to get themselves a dominant win and prove that they are the reasonable and justified number 2 seed as they'll face Eastern on Tuesday night. Colin, your final thoughts?
Anytime you can go into halftime up by 16 and almost win by nearly 40 points, I mean, that's an excellent second half. Your bench is doing their job. Your guys know how to finish off a game. Not that that was a secret to anyone, but Matt Wolf's team knows how to get it done. He's been there. He's done that. Lenape, what a showing. What a game. They're out to get a Group 4 title this year for the second year in a row.
That'll be all for us tonight on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. Tune in on Monday for the second round of South Jersey Group 1 between Glassboro and Kip Cooper Norcross Academy. From our entire crew, our social media coordinator, Haley Mejia, our graphics crew, Gavin Van Rel, Caleb Lane, Carson Rosso, and Fisher Giannotti, my producer, David Cohen of Rowan University, my wonderful color commentator, Colin Morris of Highland Regional High School. I'm Dan Wilkins. We'll see you on Monday. Final score tonight, Lenape 74, Vineland 4.